Hello my sweet angel besties, welcome back. If you guys have been watching my most recent videos, you will already know that I have been traveling for the past month or so, but I'm home and it feels so good to be back and kind of just back to regularly scheduled programming, aka bookish videos, weekly vlogs, all of the things, and especially my TBR jar videos. These just bring me so much joy. I find them so fun to sit down and film every single month, and I'm really looking forward to curating our September TBR together. I don't even know what I'm in the mood for. I honestly haven't even thought about reading plans or TBRs since I've gotten home. I have not had a minute to think, honestly. I have just been go, go, go since getting home, and yeah, I just haven't really thought about books at all, which is really sad because books bring me so much joy. So I have no idea what I want on this next month's TBR. Maybe just a range of things so I can kind of just pick up whatever I might be in the mood for, but I think it's going to be another really busy month, but I'm sure I will always find time to read, no matter how busy life gets. Also, I just wanted to mention my collection with Books with Jess, my bookish merch collection that I'm wearing right now, has been restocked. I will link the website down below if you want to check it out. When we first launched the collection, it totally exceeded our expectations, and so because of that, and because you guys love the collection so much, Jess actually had to shut down the website for a little while so that she could catch up on all of the orders that were made. And so the website has been down for a little while, so if you've tried to order anything in the last few weeks but you weren't able to, I just wanted to let you know that the website is back up and running. The collection is available to order if you would like to, and I also just wanted to say thank you so much to anyone who made an order from my collection. It literally makes me cry every time I see an Instagram story or a TikTok or something that you guys have tagged me in wearing my merch. I can't believe that you guys would want to be a part of this, but I shouldn't be surprised because you guys are just the best people in the world, and I'm so glad to have you in my little corner of the internet. So I love you so much, whether you purchase anything or not. Just for being here, I love you so much. Thank you for watching my videos. You guys are truly my besties. But let's actually get into what you're probably here for. You're probably like, Rachel, please be quiet, move on to the TBR. So that I will do. Like I said, I really don't know what I even want to pick. I guess the TBR jar will tell me, as it always does. So let's pick out our first prompt. The first prompt is your current favorite genre. What is my current favorite genre? If I'm basing this on what I've been reading the most of, I would probably say romance. In August, I read a lot of romance. Whilst I was traveling, that was all I was in the mood for. I feel like reading a cute little rom-com or a cute little romance is the best thing to read on vacation. It is the best thing to read on the beach or while you're busy traveling, because you don't really want to read something super heavy or something super sad, I don't think, at least. And I also feel like I didn't have the capacity to really dive into a fantasy world and understand politics and world building and stuff, so romance was definitely my go-to. It is pretty much almost all I read in August, so I guess that would be my favorite genre. So let's see what we have. We could do Releasing 10. That's not necessarily a rom-com, but that is a romance. I did laugh because I mentioned how I could read this on my trip. I was like, maybe I'll pick up Releasing 10 while I'm on my trip, and so many of you were like, Rachel, do not pick up that. Do not do that. Do not read that while you are on your trip. You will be emotionally unwell. And so I said, okay, I will save that for another time when it doesn't matter if I'm sad. But I don't want to be sad in Paris. I don't want to be sad in Santorini, you know what I mean? Anyway, I wouldn't say that's a rom-com, but it is a romance. We could do The Library of Borrowed Hearts. We could do Time of Your Life. I still haven't picked that up. Not really any of those, but maybe I could do The Wrong Game. I could do Summer Reading. I feel like I want to wait till summer for that. We are entering spring in Australia, so I feel like we are kind of entering the summer reading vibes here. I know everyone in the Northern Hemisphere is entering their fall autumn reading era, but we are not doing that here. So I'm kind of leaning towards The Library of Borrowed Hearts. That's kind of standing out to me the most right now. I think this one is actually kind of romance, but kind of general fiction, and I would actually say that's my favorite type of romance at the moment, is romance that kind of leans more, or leans partly towards being just general fiction, literary fiction. Because I remember one time I picked this up and I thought it was a rom-com, and you guys said, oh, it's more of a general fiction kind of thing with a subplot of romance. So that actually kind of sounds really good. I did start this a couple months ago and I got 42 pages in and then did not continue. This has been on too many TBRs. I've had this on my TBR cart for a long time. I really need to get to it, but it just sounds really cozy and really sweet. I know we're following our main character who is working in a bookstore, and she is taking care of her siblings, I believe, and she's just trying to not drown in life, financially, emotionally, looking after her siblings, trying to look after herself. She is just trying to make it by, but she also has a cranky hermit of a neighbor, and she thinks he hates her family because they're loud and a bit rambunctious and things like that, and he's just a grumpy old old man, but I'm assuming things might change over the course of this book, and I also think she might have a bit of a romance as well. And maybe we get the romance from the past of the cranky old man as well. I don't know. This is all alleged information that I'm kind of remembering half from when I started it, kind of making up based on the back of the book, but I think I'm gonna add this. It just looks, yeah, really sweet. I love the cover of this. I love the art style of this. I think it's just so cute. Prompt number 2. A book that you've been avoiding. Oh, awesome. Cool. There are so many that this could be. I could say The Well of Ascension, which is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. Remarkably Bright Creatures, or even, you know what I think I want to do with this one? I kind of want to go for The Ministry of Time. This book is on my 2025 TBR. Honestly, there's a few others on this TBR card that are also on my 2025 TBR, but I made that list at the end of last year, so that means that I've been wanting to, or like planning to read this book for at least 8 months. And to me, that sounds like I've been avoiding it, you know? Like, I've owned this book, I think, since April. I've been planning to read it since January, I guess, and I still haven't read it. I will say I was kind of like influenced a little bit because I recently saw Ashlynn read this book. I love her videos so much. I love seeing what she reads. She reads such interesting books. I love Ashlynn. If you don't watch her videos, you absolutely need to. I'll link her down below if you don't watch her. She's the cutest, sweetest person ever. Anyway, she recently read this in like a TBR dice throwing video, which I love that video. It looked so fun. And I think she really enjoyed this one, and it kind of just like reminded me of this book and just like how I've been planning to read it for so long and I just haven't. And I remember obviously bestie Haley Pham read this a while ago, and she was the original influencer that made me pick this book up and like want to read it because she loved this. But I've heard a lot of mixed opinions. Some people love it, some people don't. I think the main reason why I've been avoiding it is because I really don't know what I'm going to think about this. I could be one of those people who don't like it, but I do want to give it a go. And that's what I've said since I put it on this list, because I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I just want to give it a chance. Well, it's time to give it a chance. I think it's a sci-fi book, but it has time traveling elements in it, and I believe it's about like an organization that brings people from the past to the present and then helps them like acclimatize and like learn how to live in the present. And obviously these are people who maybe didn't even have electricity, and now they're living in a world with social media and phones and cars and electric scooters and, you know, just like random things like that. So I'm very intrigued by it, and I also think, is there a romance in it? I don't know. I'm gonna read it this month. I've been really itching to read it recently. Like, I keep thinking about it, so I think maybe this might be the month. How many times have I said that though? I don't know. Too many. Moving on to prompt number 3. A book sent to you by a publisher. So I am very blessed to receive books from publishers sometimes. Sometimes I know of the book and I'll receive it and it's such an exciting surprise because I'm like, oh my gosh, I was gonna go out and buy this and I've been sent it. And sometimes it's a book that I have no idea about, and it's really exciting because it gives me a chance to pick up a book that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise. So I get very excited about receiving book mail. I'm absolutely mind blown that I get book mail from publishers, and I can't believe it's part of my job. Like, that blows my mind, and I just am so thankful for that. But we actually do have quite a few options on here because I guess I've been sent a few. Releasing 10 was sent to me by the publisher. Time of Your Life was sent to me by Hachette. Lisa Jewell's new book was sent to me. The Order of the Masks was sent to me. Dance of Lies is one that was sent to me a long time ago, and I still haven't picked it up, but I've been seeing people reading it recently and loving it, and so I really want to read this. This was also on my TBR last month and I didn't get to it. We could do The Serpent and the Wolf, we could do Ritual, we could do Such Charming Lies. Like, we have too many options, guys. I get so spoiled by publishers. What do I feel like reading the most? I kind of want to, I haven't read a fantasy in a while. Like Time of Your Life, I really do want to read, and I can't believe I haven't read it yet. I've also seen a lot of mixed reviews about this, so I'm interested to know my thoughts. Releasing 10, I've been meaning to get to. I haven't got any fantasy yet, so you know what? It's very rare that I put the same book onto a monthly TBR 2 months in a row. I try not to do that, but I want to. I want to read this and just see what the hype is all about and see if I agree with the hype that I've been seeing. So this is called A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. It is a fantasy book. Is it YA? It's a debut romantic fantasy. Enemies to lovers. Perfect for readers of Fourth Wing, Sarah J Maas and Stephanie Garber. And I think we're following a girl who might become the king's spy. It just sounds so interesting. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the TBR. How beautiful is this front cover too? I think I say that every time I mention this book or show this book, but I can't get over it. I think it's just so beautiful, and the gold foiling. I'm a sucker for gold foiling, what can I say? We're halfway through. We have a romance / general fiction, a sci-fi, and a fantasy. I'm pretty happy with this so far. Prompt number 4, a book out of your comfort zone. Okay. I would say my comfort zone is probably romance, fantasy, general fiction. Those are probably the main books that I read. Books out of my comfort zone would probably be like some literary fiction, maybe like thrillers, because I don't really read many thrillers at all. I'm quite a sensitive girly and I get spooked easily, so I don't read many of those. Dark romance, definitely not my thing, but I don't really want to pick that up. I do read a little bit of everything, I want to say, but I feel like those are probably the main things out of my, I guess non-fiction. I do read some non-fiction, but I don't read a lot of it. We could do Persuasion by Jane Austen. I read classics occasionally, but maybe like a few a year. Like, I really don't read many of them. But this is on my 25 books I want to read in 2025. I would love to read all of Jane Austen's works eventually. But this is, yeah, one that I have not read. And it's really short too. I feel like this is not really many people's favorite from Jane Austen, but I am intrigued by it. I think I was influenced to pick this up because I saw Katie is read it like, I don't even know, last year, the year before. I can't even remember when it was, but she read it and she was explaining the storyline of it and it actually sounded really interesting. But like I said, I don't read a lot of classics, and so I'm a little worried that I just like won't be into it. I don't know. I read Little Women last year. I've read Anne of Green Gables. I've read Pride and Prejudice. What other classics have I read? Not that many. I've read The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, Lord of the Flies, The Outsiders, like a few, but not like a heap. So I could do this because this I would say is kind of out of my comfort zone. We also do have Lisa Jewell's new book, which was on my TBR last month and I didn't get to it. And I have been like wanting to pick this up, but I don't know. This is a thriller and like I said, I'm sensitive, so I'm not sure. Those are probably the two that stand out. Or even, I guess we could do If We Were Villains as well. This is a dark academia book that's somehow like Shakespeare related. And again, like I read dark academia occasionally, but just not super often. But I would say all three of these are a little bit out of my comfort zone. And this is also on my 25 books I want to read in 2025, along with Persuasion. So either of those would be great options. Maybe I make Siri choose. This is what I do when I can't make a decision. This is book 1, this is book 2, this is book 3. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 3.
A random number between 1 and 3 is 3.
Which is Persuasion. Guys, I'm gonna read a classic. Am I actually though? Who knows? It is 236 pages, but I feel like it's going to take me a long time to read because the writing is just a little bit different to what I would normally read, of course. I do have the audiobook for this as well on Audible because I think it's free on Audible, so I could use that as well if I'm struggling a little bit. Persuasion is a brilliant satire of vanity and pretension and a mature, tender love story tinged with heartache. Interesting. I'm very intrigued to see my thoughts on this. And like I said, I want to eventually read everything that Jane Austen has written, so this will obviously help with that. Prompt number 5. Australian author. I have got to have an Australian author on here. Wait, is the Order of Masks an Australian author? Yes. Yes. I remember this was also on my last month's TBR. Was this? Maybe this wasn't on my last month's TBR. I don't remember anymore. I feel like this might have been, but I didn't get to it. I think it was. I think my prompt for last month was something about a princess. Like I had to find something with a princess, and I think this fit that prompt. I think I almost picked this, but I couldn't figure out if I had a... Anyway, maybe this. It says that the author has a degree in psychology and writes on a 40-acre hobby farm in the picturesque Adelaide Hills of South Australia. I love Adelaide. When not typing in her study and drinking copious amounts of tea, Alina enjoys hiking with her feisty dog, connecting with her loyal community, and traveling abroad. The Order of Masks is her debut novel. That's so fun. And it says she grew up in her family's bookstore. Imagine your family owned a bookstore. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. I think we have 2 female main characters. One is a circus performer who is going to compete in the deadly trials and win a place in one of the 3 magical royal orders, which sounds super interesting. And the second is a princess fighting to withstand her half-brother's sinister ambitions and seize power. Interesting. So I'm hoping they're gonna like work together. And it also says there's forbidden romances. It sounds really fun, so I'm gonna give it a chance. Final prompt. Prompt number 6. Oh, we have 2. A book that is less than 300 pages. Ooh. Like, do I even have any now that I've picked Persuasion? Oh, some of these are kind of short. I feel like these might honestly be the only options I have if they are under 300 pages. This one is 290 and this one is 284. I honestly think everything else on this TBR cart is over 300 pages. Yeah, both of these are books that were sent to me by publishers and I honestly have no idea what either of them are about. I haven't really looked into them very much. This one is called Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. It looks like it is about a woman who's quite like spontaneous and lives quite an exciting nomadic life, traveling, doing fun things, and then she unexpectedly gets pregnant, and then we jump a decade later. She's got 3 kids and she is a mother, but it feels like she's kind of like lost herself to the demands of her life, of being a mother, of being a wife, of trying to be everything for everyone else, and she just like doesn't even know who she is anymore, and she's just like drowning in that. It says perfect for fans of Celeste Ng and Leanne Moriarty. This book is about motherhood, sacrifice, and the moments that shape us for better or for worse, but at its heart it's about Leah, a slippery slope of using alcohol to take the edge off, caught between who she is and who she's trying to be. So interesting. So it sounds like this is a bit of a heavier read, women's fiction kind of vibe, and then this one, I don't know. Oh, this is very different. Very, very different. So there's been a series of deaths, and so they bring in a young female detective and a jaded vampire hunter. So is this a mystery? A thriller? They both sound very interesting, very different, but I think I'm gonna put this one on my TBR. This one just isn't what I'm feeling right now. Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea, the final book on our TBR for September. I'm gonna rearrange the TBR cart and then we will recap the TBR. So the 6 books that I will hopefully be reading this month are The Library of Borrowed Hearts, The Ministry of Time, A Dance of Lies, Persuasion, The Order of Masks, and lastly, Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. Definitely some very different reads on this TBR. We have some fantasy, we have a classic, we have some women's fiction, we have a sci-fi book, a little bit of romance in there too. I'm pretty happy with that. I like having a few different genres on the TBR because it feels like I have options, you know, for whatever mood I might be in. But I hope you guys enjoyed picking my TBR with me. I would love to know what is on your TBR for the month of September, and I guess I'll see you guys in my next video very soon. Goodbye.